What's up guys, cycling fanatics! Today I gave my best shot at the Hel van Voerendaal, which is a big, very tough race in the southerly part of the Netherlands, going through pretty difficult climbs. And I dropped out after 70 kilometers, my flame died, I was done. Check it out. Good morning guys, it's 8:45 Sunday morning. I'm headed out to Voerendaal, which is in the far south part of the Netherlands, and we're racing a long race, 155 kilometers. This is in the elite category, and today I'm going to be riding with the elite team of my club. For me it's the first time I'm going to be riding a race like this. The drive to get there is quite long. I was staying in Zeeland, which is the far southwest part of the country. We're having a friend's weekend, and right now I'm actually driving through Belgium to get to Limburg. So it's over 2 hours to get there. I've been driving for an hour now, so I still have 1 hour left. The weather is like this, but I think the forecast was supposed to be sunny and around 18 to 21 degrees, so that's actually very good cycling weather. It's in the south part of the country, in Limburg, and that's where there's hills in our country, so quite some elevation in this race. I'll see how it goes. I don't have a lot of big expectations yet. I have to see what the team meeting is going to be about. I have no idea. For me it's the first time, so the weather is turning out pretty good. Everybody here is gathering with the teams and the bikes. Gave my bike to the mechanic, checked the tire pressure, put on the numbers on the bike. We have people from the club that will be giving us water on the side of the road. I just met all the other guys and we just talked about the race a little bit. The race will start in 12 o'clock, so we still have plenty of time. We're going to be changing, and then we'll have a last team meeting, and then we'll head up to the start. It's going to be 155 kilometers over short climbs. We'll do 8 laps on a loop of 15k with a couple climbs, so it's going to be pretty tough. Almost ready to go. 1 hour to the start of the race. Everybody's pretty much ready. Secret race food. We've got some spare wheels if anybody runs flat. The follow car is gonna follow us. The sun's out. Couldn't be better.
2 hours later.
Wat kan ik voor je doen? Wat wil je? Ga zitten. Ga zitten.
Even chillen.
Ja, even zitten. Ik heb een kleine cola of een kleine pappen voor je.
Ja, ik moet zeggen, het is best wel pittig.
Ja, joh, ben
This race is 155 kilometers and I lasted for 70. So that's about halfway. Found a guy who was falling off the back as well, and we're riding together in front of the Broom-wagon until they said the gap is too big and you're out of the race. So I just continued until we get to the feeding point, and here I am. The race just passed. We've got 2 guys of our team right there in the front, so they're doing pretty good. Well, can I say, there's a lot of little climbs, pretty steep. Every time on the climb I just couldn't follow the rest of the pack. I dropped off the end, and then in the rest of the lap I had to close the gap again, and it cost me so much energy. I just couldn't keep up with the peloton, so I was done. So we started at 12 o'clock and it's 10 past 2 right now. I've got the rest of the day to watch the race. The weather is very good. I'm pretty tired. So far it was a good experience.
Alright, Martin. Alright, Alex. Good job, good job.
Those were the leaders in the race. Right here are the chasers.
Come on, Kenny.
Alright, here's the race footage. We are behind a neutralized motorcycle right now. First 2 kilometers was neutralized. We're starting with 25 teams of 6 riders, so it's 150 riders in this race. Motorcycles are gone and we are let loose. First climb, it's going fast from the start. As you can see, my power at the bottom already pushing out 600 to 700 watts just to stay with these guys. My strategy was to stay in the front as much as I could, because I knew that on the climbs I would have to give up some spaces, because I was not going to be that fast on the climb since I'm a bit heavy. Here you can see when it's flat, well, it's not completely flat, but it looks flat, it's still going fast, and all the riders were stretched out pretty quick. We're only 5 kilometers into this race. First 26 kilometers was a loop onto a 15 kilometer circuit, which we did 8 times, and then there's just a small finale, and it all adds up to 155 kilometers. You can see the speed on the left bottom with cadence, my heartbeat. At the top you can see the distance into the race and the time, and then at the right you can see the track layout. Speed was quite high on the flats, and here we're going down a little bit. For me this was just a little bit time to get some recovery, and I knew on the flatter sections of this race I had to move up to the front as much as I could, so I had some buffer and some space to fall back on those climbs, because these climbs were very hard and there were a lot of them. Here I'm trying to move forward, but it was all pretty nervous and very narrow, so there's actually not a lot of space to move forward anywhere. You can see these guys are already fighting for positions. They're pushing each other. Here on the downhills it was okay, going pretty fast, almost 70 kilometers an hour, and you can see my heartbeat is still up at 170 because I was just dying from those little steep climbs. On our way back, still in the peloton, this part was okay because everything was riding next to each other and close together, so it was a little bit easier to follow. But right there we start up these very intense climbs, 750 watts, 800 watts, just to not even keeping up with these guys. I'm being overtaken on these climbs on both sides because I'm not fast enough while I'm pushing as hard as I can. As you can see, it's very narrow. Everybody's close together and trying to stay up to the front because that's where it happens. This was a very hard section of the lap, and I was having a hard time just staying in the wheel from the guy in front of me. Here on top of the hill where the wind was blowing a little bit. It was not really windy that day, but still any headwind in these conditions would be making it even more heavy. And as you can see, I'm already being overtaken on the left and right by other guys because they want to keep those gaps closed. And then coming on the top of these of this hill, I'm just toast. I'm heartbeat in the throat. I'm still trying to push out a lot of power, but it's just costing me a lot of energy, and we're only half an hour into this race. Big gaps opening up because I'm falling out, and these guys are overtaking me, and I know that I have to get on somebody's wheel to keep up. Here it's going down a little bit, and again, like I said, as soon as it's going down, I'm trying to move forward because the next climb will be again hard for me to keep up. So the further I get to the front, the more buffer I have to fall back on those climbs. Sharp turn to the right, and here we go up again. Going up this hill again. I'm pushing pretty hard, 700 watts, but I'm being overtaken on the left and right, both sides at the same time. 25 kilometers in the race, passing the feeding point for the first time. I still had 2 almost full water bottles, so I didn't need anything. I should have just started with only 1 bottle, which would have saved me a little bit of weight on these climbs, but this part looks flat, but it's not. It's still going up. And here we come up close to start finish. This guy, his front derailleur broke and his chain fell off, so he almost crashed. This is start finish of this 15-kilometer loop that we were supposed to do 8 times. At least I survived the first 30 kilometers of this race. Here I'm at the back of the peloton and it's going a little bit downhill right now, but the speed is high. And as you can see, I have to push hard just to stay there. Sharp right turn, and here this is where it starts to get very heavy. This was a very steep climb, 700-800 watts going up that climb, and this is really burning my energy right now at a very fast pace. Coming at the top of that climb, but it was not flat, it was going uphill just slightly into a very slight headwind, but destroying me. I had a very hard time keeping up, and as you can see, guys are overtaking me all the time when it's going up. The pace was pretty high, and here I can see last wheel of the peloton just drifting away. A couple other guys are still trying to get into that wheel, and there you are by yourself. There was a couple guys behind me, and we formed a little group of about 6 riders, and we went rotating to try and catch that peloton, and we all did a pretty big effort to come back to the race, to try to stay into the race, and we're only an hour in this race. So right now the team cars are starting to overtake us. So behind the whole peloton there's the judges, and then there's 15 team cars. Right here I see the team car of my team, and I am getting in there slipstream, trying to move up as far as I can, trying to get back into the race, back to that peloton, because right here by yourself you're doomed to fail. It's never gonna happen. So from this point on I was trying to push as hard as I can to get back into this race. A little bit of sketchy moments here, trying to get through these team cars. Crossing start finish again right here. The second loop is done. Again behind the team car, trying to get some speed in that slipstream, and then from here was a matter of going one car at a time and trying to move as far up as I could, trying to get back into that peloton, because I was not ready to step out of this race just yet. I was pushing hard, I was fighting hard to stay in this race. I knew that I wasn't gonna finish this race because the pace was too high, but I was gonna try and stay in the race as long as I could. And right here you can see me moving up just car by car. This is fast forwarding through this long line of team cars. Red car is the judges, and then just one car to go, and here is the peloton. I fighted my way back into the peloton, back to the race. I was happy about it. I figured, well, I'm still in the race and can continue. And then just when I was there, right turn up this climb again, and the hell continues. This race is not called the Hel van Voerendaal for nothing. It was just a very, very hard race. And as you can see, up the hill, on this hill, I was already back behind, and these guys were riding away from me. I was unable to keep the wheel. Team car passing me, giving me some tips. Just keep your own pace, keep on going. Passing the feeding point again. I needed some water, thanks a lot. And I was just gonna keep on going as long as I could. It was also quite warm. It was about 23 degrees, but it felt like a lot more with the sun. Passing start finish again. People on the side of the road cheering us on, thanks a lot, very cool. You can see other guys here that are falling off the back, and they are done, exhausted, not gonna continue this race. I found this guy here in the light jersey, and we were riding together up until this Broom-wagon came next to us, this wagon right here, when he told us we were too far back. They're gonna take a pen, tick our names off the list. We were done. Game over.
back to the vlog.
So I've been sitting there for a while, watch the guys race, catch your breath, get some food. Now I'm just doing an easy spin, just an easy spin to get some recovery. Expectation of today was not that I was gonna win this race. This was more an experience to see how it goes in this elite team. This was really my first real road race with a follow car, a team manager, strategies. This race is very hard because there's so many climbs. The team director already told us in the meeting just before the race that in the first 25 kilometers, probably half of the peloton is gonna drop out. When I heard that, I figured, well, now I just want to make the first 25k and then see how it goes. I was like a little mouse in a bucket of water, holding my head above the water until I just had no more energy. And the Broom-wagon came riding next to us and he told us, guys, the gap is too big, you guys are out of the race. With this race we had feeding points. Bidons were filled with some sport drinks from the team. This is a different brand than I'm used to drinking, although I know that you should not use any different sports food in a race when you never used it before. I did it today anyway, and I can tell you it was not a success. Like after 15 minutes my stomach started hurting pretty bad, so I was riding around with a painful belly, and it's not the reason I dropped out of the race, but it's really uncomfortable. And just a quick tip for all of you guys, even when you know it, do not use any sport food for the first time in any race. Make a mental note and don't do it again. That's how it goes. First experience. Mechanic, caretakers, giving food and drinks on the side of the road. Thanks a lot. Thanks for letting me join the team for this experience. After this I'm gonna chill, and next weekend I'm going to Copenhagen for the Rough and Nocturne crazy criterium, 45 minutes to the center of Copenhagen. Guys, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. See you next time. See ya! Zeg maar het eerste klimmetje, toen dacht ik al van, oké, het gaat hard. Het lukt nu wel, maar ik zit nu al vol in het rood. Een zwaar klimmetje, en daar werd ik gewoon elk rondje afgereden. En dan zat ik erachter. Volgens mij is het, nee, we zijn er net voorbij volgens mij. Was het alleen maar knallen om terug te komen. Op een gegeven moment reed ik door de bezenlagen. Toen ben ik helemaal terug door de auto's gereden naar het peloton. Dacht ik, ja, ik ben er weer. Ik kwam precies weer dat stukje. Werd ik er weer afgereden.
Ik heb geen washandjes.
We hebben geen water, we zitten helemaal in de auto allemaal.
Ja,
Het peloton is uitgedund hoor.
Maar ik zag nu al zoveel jongens aan de kant zitten.
Het is
nu
niet
een
normaal.
jongen van de Vaarding, die stapt ook af.
Ja,
Eddie. Die is best wel ervaren.
en dat is ook een mountainbiker.
Ja.